42 circuit limitation for panel boards is a topic of discussion within the electrical industry. This limitation, which restricts the number of circuits in a panel board, has historical roots tied to earlier wiring practices. The initial concern stemmed from the potential for overheating in panel boards with a high density of circuits, particularly when using older rubber-covered conductors. Over time, advancements in conductor insulation, wiring methods, and overcurrent protection devices have significantly improved the safety and performance of electrical systems. These advancements have led to questions regarding the continued relevance of the 42 circuit limitation. The argument is that the original reason for the rule, the risk of overheating due to older wiring methods, is less of a concern with modern materials and technologies. Modern conductors are designed to withstand higher temperatures and carry greater loads safely. Improved insulation materials prevent short circuits and ground faults, reducing the risk of fire. Advanced overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, provide more reliable and precise protection against overloads and short circuits. These advancements have made it possible to safely install more circuits in a panel board without exceeding its thermal limits. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a set of standards that provide a baseline for electrical safety. It is important to note that local codes and regulations may vary, and it is crucial to consult with qualified electrical professionals to ensure compliance with all applicable requirements. When evaluating the 42 circuit limitation, it is important to consider several factors. Firstly, panel board design plays a crucial role in heat dissipation. Panel boards are designed with specific ventilation features and internal layouts to promote airflow and prevent localized hotspots. Secondly, the load on each circuit is a critical consideration. If the average load per circuit is low, a panel board may be able to safely accommodate more circuits. Thirdly, the ambient temperature in the area where the panel board is installed affects its thermal performance. Higher ambient temperatures reduce the panel board's ability to dissipate heat. The NEC provides guidelines for directing conductors and equipment based on ambient temperature to ensure safe operation. The NEC also addresses the ampacity of conductors, which is the maximum current a conductor can carry without exceeding its temperature rating. NEC Table 310.15. B16 provides ampacity ratings for various conductor types and sizes. When selecting conductors for a panel board, it is important to ensure that their ampacity is sufficient to handle the expected load. The NEC also specifies requirements for overcurrent protection devices such as circuit breakers and fuses. These devices are designed to protect conductors and equipment from overloads and short circuits. NEC Section 240 covers the requirements for overcurrent protection. Circuit breakers are designed to trip when the current exceeds their rating, interrupting the flow of electricity and preventing damage to the circuit. Fuses are similar to circuit breakers but are designed to melt and break the circuit when the current exceeds their rating. Both circuit breakers and fuses must be properly sized to protect the conductors and equipment they serve. Grounding is another important aspect of electrical safety. Grounding provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, allowing the overcurrent protection device to trip and clear the fault. NEC Section 250 covers the requirements for grounding. Proper grounding helps to prevent electric shock and reduce the risk of fire. Bonding is also important for electrical safety. Bonding connects all metal parts of an electrical system together, creating an equipotential plane. This helps to prevent voltage differences between metal parts, reducing the risk of electric shock. NEC Section 250 also covers the requirements for bonding. Surge protection is another important consideration for electrical systems. Surge protection devices, or SPDs, protect sensitive electronic equipment from voltage surges caused by lightning strikes or other electrical disturbances. SPD divert the surge current to ground, preventing it from damaging equipment. NEC Section 285 covers the requirements for surge protection. Arc fault circuit interrupters, or RSIs, are designed to protect against arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. RSIs detect the unique characteristics of arc faults and trip the circuit breaker, interrupting the flow of electricity. NEC Section 210.12 requires F-size in many residential circuits. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are designed to protect against ground faults which can cause electric shock. GFCIs detect the leakage of current to ground and trip the circuit breaker, interrupting the flow of electricity. NEC Section 210.8 requires GFCIs in many locations, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. In addition to these safety features, proper installation and maintenance are crucial for ensuring the safe operation of electrical systems. All electrical work should be performed by qualified and licensed electricians. Regular inspections and maintenance can help to identify and correct potential problems before they become hazardous. Panelboard labeling is also important for safety and convenience. Each circuit breaker should be clearly labeled to indicate the circuits it serves. This makes it easier to identify and troubleshoot problems. NEC Section 408.4 requires panelboard labeling. The NEC also specifies requirements for working clearances around electrical equipment. Sufficient working space must be provided to allow electricians to safely access and work on the equipment. NEC Section 110.26 covers the requirements for working clearances. Proper ventilation is also important for panelboards. Panelboards generate heat, and adequate ventilation is needed to prevent overheating. The NEC specifies requirements for ventilation of electrical equipment. In summary, the 42-circuit limitation for panelboards is a complex issue with historical roots. While advancements in technology have improved the safety and performance of electrical systems, it is important to carefully consider all factors before increasing the number of circuits in a panelboard. Compliance with the NEC and local codes is essential for ensuring electrical safety. Consulting with qualified electrical professionals is always recommended. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect the latest advancements in technology and safety practices. Staying up to date with the latest edition of the NEC is important for all electrical professionals. The NEC is a comprehensive document that covers a wide range of electrical topics. It is essential for all electrical professionals to have a thorough understanding of the NEC. The NEC is available for purchase from various sources, including the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA. The NFPA also offers training courses on the NEC. These courses can help electrical professionals stay up to date with the latest requirements and best practices. In addition to the NEC, there are other standards and guidelines that may be relevant to panelboard design and installation. These include standards from organizations such as the Underwriters Laboratories, or UL, and the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, or IEE. UL standards cover the safety of electrical equipment, while IEE standards cover the performance of electrical systems. It is important to be familiar with these standards when designing and installing panelboards. The selection of panelboard components is also important for ensuring safety and performance. Circuit breakers, fuses, conductors, and other components must be properly rated for the intended application. Using components that are not properly rated can lead to overheating, equipment failure, and even fire. It is important to consult with the manufacturer's specifications when selecting panelboard components. The installation of panelboards should be performed by qualified and licensed electricians. Proper installation techniques are essential for ensuring the safe and reliable operation of the panelboard. The electrician should follow the manufacturer's instructions and all applicable codes and standards. After the panelboard is installed, it should be inspected and tested to ensure that it is functioning properly. This includes verifying that all circuits are properly wired, that the overcurrent protection devices are properly sized, and that the grounding system is properly installed. Regular maintenance is also important for panelboards. This includes inspecting the panelboard for signs of damage or corrosion, tightening connections, and testing the overcurrent protection devices. Proper maintenance can help to extend the life of the panelboard and prevent electrical problems. When troubleshooting panelboards, it is important to follow safe work practices. Always disconnect power to the panelboard before working on it. Use insulated tools and wear appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE. If you are not qualified to work on electrical equipment, contact a licensed electrician. Panel boards are an essential part of any electrical system. They provide a central point for distributing power to various circuits and protecting those circuits from overloads and short circuits. Proper design, installation, and maintenance are essential for ensuring the safe and reliable operation of panel boards. Remember to always consult with qualified electrical professionals and adhere to the latest edition of the NEC and all applicable codes and standards.